In today's tutorial, let's do this granny with radiant stripes. That's right, we have one granny square and then the stripes kind of ripple out like a pond from the granny square to the bottom and then the granny square all the way to the top. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as Yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. In today's tutorial we are going to do this granny with radiant stripes where we start off with the granny square right in the center here and then we radiant out from the granny square out one direction and then from the granny square out into the other direction. So we have to start off with our granny squares first and then we start off. So this pattern is actually relatively easy. You notice that the granny square is not in the equal layers, so it's not right in directly in the middle. So we have to just kind of watch where this is going to be placed and how far we go down and then how far we go up, and I'll explain that in just a moment. So the granny square is sitting towards the bottom of the bed here. Just because it's turned this way on the mattress doesn't mean it has to be this way. It can be the other way if you wish, and you could also alternate as well. So what you are looking at here is that the radiant stripes are from rows 1 through 25 on this side, and on this side it's 1 through 25 times 4. So it's this section times 4. So that's why you're getting all the way to the top here. So you just have to kind of pay attention to that. It's really quite easy. So you have to start off with the granny square in the middle and then we're gonna go in one direction. So if it were me and I were you, I'd probably do the bottom first of getting this 25 done and then just worry about doing the top after. So you have to do all the stripes. So once you get a stripe done, you have to then just do single crochet equally all the way down through the side, and then we just have to whip stitch the stripes together in order to do that. So that's basically the concept of this particular Afghan. So this Afghan is the official Crochet Cruise Afghan for Alaska 2016, where we have changed the sizes. We're only going to be doing 4 panels wide and we're only going to do from rows 1 through 25 on the bottom, and then from the granny square we're gonna do rows 1 through 25 only 2 times. So it'll be 50 rows instead of 100 when you get up to here. So it'll be probably around this mark. So we're just trying to just kind of make it fun. We are representing a Project Linus on board for doing something fun and do something charity related while we're enjoying a crochet cruise together. So for crochet cruisers, you can go to the crochetcruises.com website and we have all the information on what you need to know if you want to participate in the particular project. And we're asking all crocheters that show up on the ship, please bring at least one strip with you, and if you have time, please do more than one. And our goal is 30 Afghans for Project Linus for August of 2016. So this project is relatively easy. I'm gonna start you off. We're gonna do the granny square together. It's probably the most complex, and then we're gonna start you off with the stripes. You can change the colors as often or as little as you wish. You do have 4 different colors that are being used, and there are 2 different color schemes. So you see that this scheme matches this one here, and I think it matches the one on the far side as well. And this scheme and this scheme match each other. Just because it has it all organized like that, you can have a lot of fun with doing your own kind of color schemes. You can change the colors as often or as little as you wish. So without further ado, let's grab our crochet hook. Today I'm going to substitute with a 5.5mm size I crochet hook today, but if you are using Caron Simply Soft, I'd recommend obviously a size H, 5mm. This pattern also includes the crochet diagrams that are on the very back, and we're going to start off here, and so you can see that this is one strip that is coming down to the base of the bed, and then this is the other strip. So we do the strip first, come back, and then do the other strip on the other side going all the way to the top of the bed as well. So either way, however you do it, it's up to you, but just know that the strips from the bottom of the granny going all the way to the base is a different strip, and then this one is a different strip. So it's not doing it all together like it would like a regular granny square once you get to that level. So what we have to do is get our granny square done first, and that's next up. So let's grab your yarn and let's get started. So I'm grabbing my Bernat Super Value yarn today. This is my substitution, a size I, 5.5mm, but if you're using the pattern you can use Caron Simply Soft 5mm size H. Let's create a slip knot and let's chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's insert our hook into the beginning chain, yarn over and pull through to create the center ring of your granny square. So let's make sure that when we go to do the next step that we keep this string around the ring so that we can bury it underneath. Let's move on to the first set of instructions. Round number 1 we are going to chain 3. In this case it counts as a double crochet as per the instructions, and we have to double crochet around the center of the ring 15 times. So if this counts as a double crochet, it's a total of 16 of these posts that will be going all the way around. So just double crochet a total of 15 times all the way around the ring, and we'll meet you here in just a moment. When I'm counting all the way around, I just want to count the posts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I want a total of 16 of these. So just make sure that if you're running out of space, this is just sitting loosely around a ring. You can just expose more ring just by pulling it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I want a total of 16 of these. So let's do 13, 14, 15, and 16. So now that I have verified that I have my 16 in here, just insert your hook into the top of the first chain 3, yarn over and pull through the first slip stitch, and then that will conclude that off. And then what I want to do then is that I want to trim out this piece of yarn here, and therefore I will not have to worry about that bothering me as I crochet all the way around. Let's move on to round number 2. So round number 2, very easy. We're going to start off with chaining of 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So as per the instructions, this counts as a double crochet plus chain 1. Think about it for new crocheters here. When I chained 3, it counted as a double crochet. This time I counted a chain 4, therefore it's 1 double crochet plus a chain 1. So you come to the next stitch and you are going to double crochet like so, and then chain 1. Come to the next stitch and then chain 1. And what I want you to do, continue that same pattern going all the way around. So double crochet in, chain 1, double crochet in, chain 1. Please do that all the way around. So I'm coming up all the way back around. You should have a total of 16 of these posts. So you should be able to count those, and I did count those and I have that done. Make sure you chain 1 first and then just join it to the third chain of the beginning. Okay, so we chained 4, and so therefore you join to the third one so that you can continue to maintain that chain 1 space. So we want to finish off this yarn here. We're going to change color. I'm just going to trim it, and I'm going to pull it through. And changing the colors of anything is subject to what you prefer for yourself, so you can change colors as often or as little as you wish. All I'm just doing now is just weaving in some of the edges or some of the string here, and then when I crochet the next layer it's gonna trap that into position and you won't even see it. So I can safely trim that now and move on to round number 3. So round number 3 is gonna have one color on its own before we change it again in round number 4. So I'm starting off a green here, and I started off with a slip knot, and I want to come to at least one of them. It doesn't matter which one you're going to start with, but you have to come to a top of a double crochet and just insert your hook in and just yarn over both of the straggler and the yarn leading to the ball. Pull through to lock it into position. Make sure you get both of those strings when you go over. Let me try that again. Okay, so you go in, just put both of them together, pull through so they come together, and then through. That locks that into position. And what I need you to do at this point is that I need you to chain 3. So just taking the straggler just for one more time, just take it through plus the yarn and just go 1, and now let that straggler fall out of the way, 2 and 3. Therefore you can cut the string and not have to worry about kind of putting it in. So in the spaces, the chain 1 spaces, you're going to put 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2, and then in the top of the next double crochet it's just going to be 1 double crochet on its own. So the repeat pattern on this is in the chain 1 space you're going to put 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2, and then in the next double crochet is just 1. Please do that same thing going all the way around. So I'm coming up all the way around. I'm following that same procedure of 2 double crochets in a chain 1 space and then 1 double crochet in the 1 double crochet. So we're gonna have chain 1 space as your final, so there'll be 2 double crochets because when we joined it on top of a double crochet, which is the next one here. So when we go to a slip stitch, we want to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3, and I need you to break this yarn. So it says to break, just really means to fasten off. Weave in your ends once again, and let's change our color to something different. So let's continue to move along in this project, and I'll show you the next step. So we're now here on round number 4, and round number 4 is kind of weird, but we need to create the foundation for which round number 5 sits on top of. So there's gonna be a lot of chain work, so you can see that there's consistency of the chains. You have chain 2 here, you have chain 3 here, chain 2, then a corner, chain 2, chain 3, chain 2, then a corner. And so what we need to do is that we need to get our bearings to where we're starting, which is right here. Okay, and we're gonna work our way around and do this nice and slowly so that when we do round number 5 all of the spaces are there and ready for us at that time. So let's begin round number 4, and let's start off with a slip knot, and we need to get our bearings first. So we need to know exactly where we are. So we just finished off here. So you can start anywhere on this particular project. What you want to look for is that you want to start right above a double crochet. So it's gonna be one of these that are by themselves. So do not start so that you have one of them is inside of a chain 1 space. So it can be any one of the double crochets that are sitting by themselves. Let's just join the yarn on, put the yarn over and through to attach. Okay, and I want to chain 1 first. So we're just gonna chain 1, and it says to single crochet into the same space. So now we're ready to begin, and this is our starting point. So let's go nice and slow together and I'll show you. So currently there's a typo on the pattern at this point, and it says to chain 5, slip stitch 5th chain from the hook. That means that it takes you back to the center. So you need to actually chain 7. Okay, so this is a typo here. So you want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and counting back to the 5th. So going 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You want to slip stitch into that chain just like this, and then chain 2. So 1 and 2, and we will cover this again, and what this is doing is creating a loop on the outside. So now you have to skip to the next double crochet that's by itself. So you can either count over, okay, or just look to where you're seeing it. So all of the stitches all the way around, when they attach back to this ring, will always attach to the double crochets that are sitting by themselves. They'll never attach to anything that's in between in the chain 1 space. And so we're gonna single crochet into the next double crochet that sits by itself. Now you're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and skip over and go to the next double crochet that's sitting by itself. Now you're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and skip and go to the next double crochet that's sitting by itself. So that was the halfway spot on a corner, or sorry, on an edge. So then we're making our way to the other side of the corner. So it's gonna be opposite to what you see here. So the next one will be chain 2 and skip to the next double crochet that sits by itself, and now we're ready for another corner. So remember what we did before, we chained 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and just come back and just, you can either look for the third one up or just count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so that's up to you how you want to do it. You're gonna chain 2 and then skip and go to the next double crochet that's sitting by itself. So now we're going to chain 2, go to the next double crochet that's sitting by itself, chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and come to the next double crochet that's sitting by itself, chain 2, 1, 2, next double crochet that's sitting by itself, and you're ready for another corner. So another corner one more time is chaining is 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and just go to the 5th one back or look for the 3rd one up. It's up to you and how you want to do that. Chain 2 and go to the next double crochet that's sitting by itself. Please do that same pattern and going all the way around, and this is what it looks like at this point. So coming up all the way back around, the last one is a chaining of 3 and I'm just going to join it to the first single crochet. Do not fasten off your yarn at this time. It wants you to keep the same color going, so no matter what your color scheme is, it's up to you. If you want to fasten off, it's up to you as well. So let's begin. We're going to move on to round number 5. So let's begin to move on to round number 5. So we have to get all the way to this little loopy space that you see over here in the corner, and to do that we just have to insert our hook in, yarn over, and pull through, and that's a slip stitch to begin. We're now going to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and we want to do 4 double crochets into that same loop space. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just like that. So with the chaining of 3 that you started off with plus these 4 double crochets, it gives you a total count of 5 double crochets. You now want to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and coming into the same loop we need to do the other side of the corner, and it's 5 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now that we have our corner done, you see it's done like that. So now we want to single crochet in the next chain 2 space. Okay, so now we're in the center of a side. So in the center we put in 5 double crochets. So just immediately start. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which makes this a very easy round to follow because you got like 5s on the sides here, and then you got 5s in the centers. You're going to single crochet into the next chain 2 space, and then immediately start and do a corner here. So we just reach over and we just double crochet right into the corner loop, and we want to do 5 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You're now going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 5 double crochets into back into that same loop to turn the corner. So that was 2, 3, 4, and 5. We want to single crochet into the next chain 2 space, and then you're in the middle of a side again, so it's 5 double crochets. So continue that same path going all the way around. So 2, 3, 4, 5, and single crochet into the next chain 2 space, and then do your corner again. So you just reach over inside the loop, 5 double crochets, chain 3, 5 double crochets, and then work your way around. So this is what it looks like at this moment. So I'm coming around to the final side, and I just have to single crochet into the first one, and then just do a slip stitch and join it to the top of the first chain 3 of the first corner, like this. So we want to break our yarn at this point. We want to fasten this yarn off, and we're going to move to one more color that is going to do the next 2 rounds, and those are the final rounds of doing the granny square itself. So the first round around is just basically a foundation to hold all of the additional final round, and that will make sense in just a moment. So when we come back, let's grab up some yarn. If you really looked at your squares too as well, you'll notice that the final round matches the same color as the center, and I think it brings nice balance by doing so, but again, this is your creativity. You can decide what you like for yourself. Next round is number 6. Number 6, we're going to create a foundation of all these chains so that the round number 7, the final, can all sit nicely within that. So we have to create all these gapping spaces in chain work in order to do so. It's a relatively quick spin around, and then the final round then will be in balance after that. So let's begin round number 6. Let's begin round number 6. I'm going to create a slip knot. I'm going to use the same color as the interior of the inside of the square. So I want to join it to a chain 2 space, or chain 3 space that's in the corner here, and I want to just go right into a space and just put the straggler over and join like I have been all along. I want you just to drop the straggler out of the way at this moment and just grab the yarn that's going to the ball, chain up 1 like this, and single crochet back into that same spot. So in the corners what we have to do is we have to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, coming back into the same space, single crochet. So now we're gonna move along the edge just like this. So the first one is a chaining of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and we want to double crochet ourselves to the next single crochet that's right here. So we're gonna double crochet into that spot. We're now going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and join it to the middle one of the 5. Okay, so you see the 5 double crochets go right to the middle one for a single crochet. You need to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and double crochet to the next chain 1 space, or sorry, next single crochet that's available to you. Now we have to chain 5 and get ourselves back to a corner. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, coming into the next corner, single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet back in. So let's just do one more side together. So here it goes. We're gonna start off and we're going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, coming to the next single crochet for a double crochet. We're then going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, look to the middle one of the group of 5, and it'll be the middle one and it's a single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, double crochet to the next single crochet, and then head to the next corner. So it's 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, corner, single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet back in. So please do that same configuration going all the way around. So I'm coming up to the final where I'm gonna run back into a corner and just continue the same path. So 1, 2, 3, double crochet into the next single, and then the final is chaining of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I want to join it to the beginning single crochet. So just with a slip stitch to the beginning like so. So I've now gone all the way around. This is what it looks like. Let's move on to the final round, round number 7. So round number 7 is really easy. We're just going to slip stitch to the next chain 3 space, which is the very corner, and we want to chain 3, which counts as a double crochet. So 1, 2 and 3, and we want to double crochet 2 more times into that same space, 1 and 2. So with the chaining of 3 plus these 2, this equals 3 double crochets. So we need to turn a corner accurately, so we need to chain 2 and then double crochet 3 more times into that same space. So 1, 2 and 3. So we're going to move all the way across. So we're going to only play within the chain spaces. We're not gonna play within the double crochets or the single crochet spaces. So the first one is going to be 5 double crochets sitting right in the space. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We jump to the next chain 3 space and there will be 3 double crochets there. So 1, 2 and 3. So if you always remember we did chaining of 5s and chainings of 3, that just matches the same thing that's already there. So the next one we just jump to the next space and there will be 3 double crochets there, and that was a chain 3 space, so therefore this time it's double crochet 3 times. The next chain 5 space there's going to be 5 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And then we jump to the outside here. So on the outside there's always gonna be the same thing. It'll be 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and then 3 more into that same space to turn the corner. So please do that same configuration going all the way around. So I'm coming up all the way around and I'm almost finished. I'm on the final chain 5 space, so it'll be 5 double crochets here. So it's 2, 3, 4 and 5. So you're just gonna finish this off with just chaining, or sorry, just slip stitch to the top of the beginning, chain 3, and then just fasten this off, weaving your ends nicely, and this is what this square would look like. And it's an amazing little square. You can use it for this particular Afghan that we're doing, or you could even use this particular square to make a multiple of squares in order to do a multiple granny square Afghan as well. So let's move on to the next part of this tutorial. So let's move along in this tutorial. So we're now going to create the stripes from two sides going all the way down to the base, and then two sides all the way going to the top. So we have to do one at a time. So here we see rows from 1 through 25 here. Every other row is single crochet, and every other row compared to that is double crochet, just like you see here on the pattern. So you can change the colors as often as you wish. This has a color mix that the designers has figured out for you to create a really amazing look. It's up to you. So on the ones that are going up from here all the way to the top, it's rows 1 through 25 repeated 4 times. So this is 1 time, and then this is 4 times, so you can get a good idea. So for the crochet cruises, what we're doing is we're only doing 1 through 25 down here, and then 1 through 50 up here. So just 1 through 25 twice in order to create a little cute little Afghan, and we're only gonna put so many stripes together as well. We're not gonna do the whole thing. So this is a really great idea. So when we go to look at the pattern here, we just see that it's gonna start off with a single crochet to start us off, and then we're going to then start and work our stripes out just like this, and it's the exact same thing on the other side. So once you understand this, so it's a double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, and that's all it is. You just have to watch yourself on the corner for when you're going all the way around, and watch how you start in order to keep it in balance. So let's begin to do that part next. Let's start row number 1 of doing the stripes. So we're gonna just do one side only. And what we're going to do is that it doesn't matter which side you pick, it's a square. So you can just go into a chain 2 space and just insert your hook, yarn over, and attach like so. And you are going to chain 1 like this, and single crochet back into that same spot. So we've now just joined. So all you just need to do is that you just need to single crochet along in every stitch all the way to the next corner. So just remember this first one here, if you're going in the space, don't forget, just follow these up, okay, and then just go in. So single crochets, so I don't even need to count. I just gotta look for all the single crochets as I'm going across. See how I'm burying the string as I go, so therefore I won't have any loose ends hanging out. So just go right over top of the string like this. So let's just single crochet ourselves to a corner. So I'm not going in any chain spaces or chain gap spaces, nothing. I'm just going in absolutely into every stitch. So row number 1 is different from the rest of the rows when we go to do this, because there is a chain space in the corner, and that chain space will not appear anywhere after this once we get this row done. Okay, so in the chain space here we are going to put in what do we got here? We're gonna put in 3 single crochets. So the first one, so 1, 2, and 3, and then you just come and start again. So just single crochet across. So we're gonna row number 1, we're just establishing everything just like this, and we're going to put in 1 single crochet in the final chain 2 space that exists before we turn around and start heading back in the other direction. So we're not going all the way around, we're just doing 2 sides only and building our way up. Okay, so I'm hitting the next space in just a moment. So in the final space, chain 2 space, it's just 1 single crochet. So you can change colors as often or as little as you want. I'm gonna keep the same color just to make it easier. I'm going to turn the work, and I'm going to begin row number 2, which will be a repeat for all of the different every other row. So here's how we're gonna do it. So how we start when we do the double crochets is exactly identical each and every time. So what we're going to do is that we're going to chain 3, so 1, 2, and 3, and we come to the next stitch here, and we want to do 2 together. So how you do that is that you wrap the hook going into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 and hold, and do it again. So you yarn over going into the very next stitch, pull through 2 and hold. You will now have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all three, sorry. So those 2 stitches just became 1, and we need to do that one more time. So yarn over into the next stitch, pull through 2 and hold, yarn over, next stitch, pull through 2 and hold. You now have 3 loops back on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. So these just became narrow, and the reason for it is that we need to maintain this edge that goes up through the stripe. So now the remainder of the stitches all the way to the very corner is just gonna be double crochets. So let's just double crochet into each one, and what we need to pay attention to is where we are on a corner. Now it does give a hint that maybe you should have a stitch marker in the corner to help you determine that, but if you're an experienced crocheter you probably do not need to do that. Okay, so just double crochet across. So basically every other row you get a nice break with this double crochet to give you some distance, and then the other ones are single crochet, which gives you nice accenting stitch work. Okay, so I'm gonna look for the third one. So there's 3 single crochets in the corner, and the middle one here is the middle. So I want to look for that one when I get there. Okay, so I got one more to go because that's not the middle one, this next one. So on the middle ones, whenever you're double crocheting on the middle stitch of the 3 single crochets, there's gonna be 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we're just going to double crochet ourselves all the way to the next side. But let me show you how to finish the side, because it's kinda like how we did it in the start where we had to eliminate some stitches with doing 2 togethers. So we have to do that in the final stitches as well. The nice thing about this particular project is that the strips never get bigger in the sense of more stitch work. It just is a matter of just working your way down. Okay. Okay, so what we want to look for is the final stitches, and we need to look for the final 4 stitches in order to do this properly. So the final 4 stitches gives you an indication on where you need to go. So I got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the final 4 stitches are gonna be 2 togethers, and watch how it's done. So you got 4 left on your here, so just yarn over, pull through 2 and hold, next stitch, pull through all 3, and then the final 2 stitches do the same thing, and then that finishes that off just like that. So you just have to turn your work and continue to work your way up and doing the stripe heading in the other direction. So I'm going to just fasten this yarn off just because I can, and I'm gonna just do another color, and I'll show you how to start the single crochet once again, because it will be slightly different because you're not on the edge of the granny anymore. So we just have to make sure you're watching for your stitches. Just very easy. It's just a matter of knowing what to look for, and let's pick up another color. So let's just grab another color, and we're just going to single crochet. You can change colors as often as or as little as you wish. You want to come into the very first. Now when you're doing this, you got to watch because you put 2 together here, so the 2 will come into 1 here, and that's what you need to look for. Okay, so just make sure you are paying attention to that, and you want to join it like so. Okay, you're going to chain 1, and you want to do 2 together, and in the single crochet we only do it once. So here we did 2 together twice. In the single crochets you only do it once. So just coming into the same stitch, pull through and hold, coming into the next stitch that's available to you, pull through and hold, and then just yarn over, pull through all 3. So these 2 just became 1. So you're just gonna single crochet yourself now to the new corner. So how do you identify the new corner now is that when you get to the single or the double crochets, there's 5 of them. The middle one of the 5 will get 3 single crochets in it. So the middle gets 3. Okay, so did you see me burying my yarn as I went? It just is a lot easier. You don't have to deal with tails. So just single crochet ourselves across. So as you guess, we only had 2 together just one time at the start of this row, so therefore at the end of the row the final 2 stitches will come together as 2 together single crochets. So the key element is to really keep an eye on where your corner is for when you got the point going down. Like this. Okay, so you got your 5 here, so just look for it. So 1, 2, so the next one is my middle one, and there will be 3 single crochets in that space. So I can turn the corner and then just single crochet to the other side. So once you understand the corner and how to stop and start each one of the 2 different rows that you have, it becomes a really quite an easy project to be able to master. Most people, when they do this kind of project, they get hung up on the sense of not starting right, and so they end up gaining stitches at the end, and sometimes they don't actually even get the middles of their points, and so their points then become offset. So it's just a matter of identifying where your stop and start is. Okay, so the stopping start, just like you see here when we go to look at it here, is that the final 2 is this one that came. Okay, you see the 2 together and the final chain. So those are the ones that are 2 together. So it's the top of it where the 2 are plus the chain is your final. So when you go to start your next round, so this is a repeat of round number 2. Okay, so you start off and you chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, the next 2 are together. So this is your double crochets once again. Then the next 2 are together. Like so, and then double crochet yourself all the way to the point. The middle one of the 3 will get 5 double crochets, and then go to the other side, and then the final 4 stitches will come together, so you have 2 and 2, and then you can either change your colors or just keep the color. It's up to you what you want to do for these kind of projects. So this is how you would do this particular Afghan. It's called Granny with Radiant Stripes. Relatively easy, and it's a lot of fun, and really there's not a lot to it when you really break it down step by step. Till next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd as well as Yarnspirations.com. Have a great day.